question. It says express 5 liters as a percentage of 120 milliliters. So 120 milliliters should be in the denominator. And then 5 liters is in the numerator. Okay? We want to convert it to percentage, so we times 100%. Okay? We must make sure that our units are the same. 1 liter is actually 1000 ml, so this is 5000 ml. Okay? And then we will get the value of 14166 and 2/3%. Okay, I want to emphasize on accuracy. Some of you may see that, okay, I marked correct, but I indicate over there exact. And then I penalize in the box, in the table, accuracy question 1A. That's because you should leave the answers exact number, okay, wherever is possible. That means it should be a mixed number. Okay? Part B. There are several of you who think that, oh, 0.25, it is a decimal already what? The question asked me to give decimal. So, how come the question asked like that and then you just put 0.25? Okay, then you think it's free mark given to you. Okay, in exam, in test, no such thing as free ticks. Okay, so 0.25%, to change it into a decimal, whenever I need to change the percentage to decimal, what must I do? Divide by 100. Okay, and then you press the calculator, and the decimal should be 0.0025.
I just 0.025. 0.0025.
You didn't do the working, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, but I'm just telling everyone that this is the working, okay? Alright, I give you the mark, alright? Okay, so this is the process in converting a percentage into a decimal or into a fraction. Okay? Next, question 2. Alright? Question 2. This is my way of revision with you for the WH3. If you're not listening, then it's bad. Okay? Question 2 says the price of a car in January 2019 was 96% more than January 2018. Okay? So, we have January 2018 and January 2019. Okay? And 2019 is 96% more than this. So over here it must be 100%. Down here is 196% because you add 96% to it. Okay? Then the question says that the price of the car was $96,000 over here. Okay, we want to find the price of the car in 2018. Okay, and the question also said round your answer to the nearest whole number. Some of you just skipped that instruction and then didn't round your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so to present our answer, okay, some of you are still having the habit of writing 196% equals $96,000. Now, this costs you your presentation mark, okay, in the table itself. Okay, you should use arrow sign, not equal sign, because a percentage cannot be equal to money. You understand? A percentage cannot be equal to money. They are only representing each other, so we use arrow sign. Okay? Then because I want to find 100%, you can find out what is 1% first. That will be 96,000 divided by 196. You don't need to bother to actually go and simplify this. Okay? Take this number to find out what is 100% by multiplying by 100. I'm dividing by 196 and times 100. There are no percentage signs with it. Okay, no percentage signs. Alright, and therefore, you can now key into your calculator. We will get 48979.59. Okay, and rounding off to the nearest whole number. This is a 5 here, it will cause the 9 to round up, so it becomes an 80. Okay, so nearest whole number. Okay. Now, other accuracy methods. Some of you, okay, you all want to calculate this. So 96,000 divided by 196, you get about 489.79. Okay. For I said yes, we give our answer to truncated 5SF. Okay. But in this case, because it is up to the nearest cent already, this is actually a poor choice of accuracy. You may want more digits after that. Okay, so that you calculate with higher accuracy. Okay, maybe add 1 or 2 more digits. Otherwise, the best option is really keep the exact number. Exact thing, use it again. Okay, so that's about your accuracy, and that's why some of you are using accuracy marks. Okay? Right? I want you to bring this paper back home. Okay? Go and take your time to go and flip through it and look through what you have not studied previously. I hope that you're not able to understand it already, because I expect that you're already studying for WH3. Tomorrow when we see each other, please bring your test paper back. Okay, I will go through the rest of the answers. Alright? Gradient, class? Rise over run, right? Great. That means you have studied already. Okay? But you must understand what does rise mean and what does run means. Rise means upwards. Okay, so we need to look from the graph a right angle triangle first. Okay, so that it will help us identify the rise and the run. Okay, so right angle triangle will be this one here. The rise will be this part, and the run will be this part. Okay? However, rise and run are the number of units. Okay? Number of units we always count in positive numbers. We do not count in negative numbers. So you cannot just say that the run is negative 8. The number of units, to be exact, is actually 8 itself. Okay? So the run is 8 and the rise is actually 4. Another thing that we must have an awareness of is that for this line, is it upward or downward sloping? It's upward, right? So for upward sloping lines, what kind of gradient must it have? It must be a positive gradient, right? Someone say that. Okay, so when you calculate your gradient, you must have the awareness, seeing the value. If it's negative, that means you must know your answer is not correct. Okay, so answer part A, our gradient will be equal to 4 for the rise and the run is 8, which gives us a positive value of half. Okay, then in part B, asks us to find the equation of a straight line. Okay, so for the equation of a straight line, it always follows a certain way, a certain format itself. What is the format that we follow? Y equals mx plus c, right? But we must always look for what numbers. We must know the value of m and we must know the value of c. Okay, y and x are numbers that we do not need to find because those keep changing depending on the graph. Okay, so m is supposed to represent what? Gradient. Okay, and c is supposed to represent y-intercept. Okay, so do we know the number for the gradient? We know, right? Okay, so an equation, as the word suggests, it is a statement with an equal sign. So it is this entire thing, okay, that forms an answer. So y equals to m being the gradient, which is half, x plus the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept in this case, it is actually referring to where the graph passes through the y-axis. That is the number 4. Okay, so we go plus 4. So this is the answer for part B, which is something that most of you can't get. Okay, get all sorts of nonsense. Right? Okay, just to test and make sure that we are all clear about this. Right? If I have a straight line that looks like this, okay, what would the gradient actually be? Okay, I call a name. So can we use that? So we need to set Evan. Single is the last one. But I know Single knows, okay? So I'm not going to let Single answer. I'll go another name. Okay? Answer. Okay, Joel. The last one. Yes. What's the gradient? Rise over run. What is the rise and what is the run? Triangle is this one. Run is the one that you run straight forward. That's why it's called run, you know? Yes, what? The run is? Running is calculator. Calculate what? Okay, you just tell me what is the rise and what is the run. The run is 3. The rise is 5. 5 over 3 is already simplified fraction 1. Right? Okay? Of course, in this case, you simplify, you can get mixed number 1 and 2/3 lah. Right? Why is that the correct answer?
No, negative.
It must be negative. Okay? Why? Because the line is downward sloping, so must put in the negative sign. Okay? And so the negative sign you need to put it in yourself by realizing that it is a downward sloping line. Okay? Now, what about the equation of the line? Okay, what would the equation of the line actually be? Okay, for another person. Brandon. Is it a competition between Singru and yes, Hansha and you. Although I know that Hansha also know. Yeah. So Hansha can go another name. Yeah. You got a name. Zach. Who's Zach? Got another name than that person. Okay, now mind Zach then. Zach is equation of line is y equals to the gradient is negative 1 and 2/3 x plus what's the y-intercept in this graph? Negative 5, so I write it this way. Do I put plus and minus like that? Then what should I write? Bracket. Put bracket on negative 5. Can we simplify this? Plus and minus become a. So we don't need to put the plus. We need to know how to write it according and change it to a minus. Okay? Now, is this the best answer? No, why? Put positive. So no, okay, cannot. So that's not right. Okay, so it needs to be negative gradient and then negative y-intercept. But is this the best answer? Okay? Any ideas? Any thoughts from anyone? Asha, what do you think?
Maybe just put a bracket.
No, it's not about putting brackets. What do you say about numbers in front of x? What kind of form it must be?
Oh, no.
It must be improper, right? So usually for Coefficients, this is what we call coefficient. We write it as improper. Okay, so we write it as negative 5 over 3x minus 5. X is right in the center, okay, of the fraction. Right? So that will be how we write, okay, the equation of the line. So that will be the answer. Okay, are we clear about such questions? Alright? Need another one? No one? Okay. Let's look at question 4. Okay, for question 4, it says that Meredith ordered a set meal at XMS Cafe, Philosophy Cafe, which offers a 10% discount. The marked price of the set meal is $24.50. Okay, so that means the original price is $24.50. There's a discount of 10%. And then there's a service charge of 10% as well. And GST is the 8%. Okay, we want to find the total amount that he has to pay. Okay, so in this case, can I just say minus 10 plus 10 plus 8? I cannot, okay? I cannot add, okay, or subtract a percentage like this because we all have different bases. Okay, my discount is counted on top of this one. Okay, I give discount to this. My service charge is given, okay, based on the discounted price. My GST is counted based on everything over here. So the bases are all different. Okay, so if you want to count it separately, you will first find the price after discount. Okay, which is 10% of this one, so 90% left times your $24.50. That will be $22.05. And then we find the price after service charge. Right, some of you are still not presenting your answers with statements, so please improve on that. Okay, so the price after service charge will be 10% more. Okay, so that means 110% of your $22.05. And that will give us 24.255. Right? With 24.255, okay, should we round off at this stage? No, okay, because this is not yet our final answer. We should leave it exact or else truncated 5SF, but it depends on the question. Sometimes you may want to give more number of decimal places. Okay? And then the price after GST will be 108% of your 24.255. That will give us 26.1954. And for money, we always round it off to how many decimal places? 2 decimal place, nearest 1 cent. Okay, so this is a 5, 9 round up, so 26.20 Okay, this is the lengthy way of presenting your answer, where you break things down into part by part. But if you realize there's actually definitely a shorter way of doing this, okay, the final price to pay will actually be starting from $24.50. Okay, I know that I first gave a 90%, or rather I gave a 10% discount, and I only need to count 90%. Then with this answer, which is $22.05, which is this number over here, I later on multiply by 110. Okay? Then, after I multiply by 110, I get this number, and this number is here, I multiply by 108%. So you may write it in this manner as well, okay? And then we will get the same answer of $26.20. Okay? And that is because, okay, there are different bases each time we calculate. Alright? So So you cannot consider a total of maybe 8% only, because you think service charge and the discount offset each other. Okay. Likewise, you cannot say that it is 118% for service charge and GST. Your GST is taxable on the service charge. Okay, so it's not 118%. Right? Okay, and please have some awareness of what you're calculating. I was marking my other class. Got this one student very funny. This one $24.50, right? The final answer come out $2,620. Okay, make sense? Okay, you all laugh, but please make sure, you all have that awareness. It doesn't make sense. You open your menu, you want to buy a meal, it says $24.50, and then you go to a counter and pay, they say $2,600. Okay, that's absurd, right? Okay, that's because that student lost the decimal place. His handwriting so bad, he didn't see the decimal. Yeah. Alright, so that's why good handwriting is important. Okay? Questions? Let's do question 5. Now question 5, I have definitely taught a similar question in class before. So it was really about how well you remember that question that we did. So we were looking at a rectangle, the width is x cm, the length is 2x. Question says that the length increased by 10% and then the width decreased by 20%. We are looking for its area, and see what is the percentage change in its area. So first of all, you need to know what is the new length and the new width going to be. The percentage do not cancel each other out or anything because the bases are different. This 10% has a base of x, this 20% has a base of x. So to find out what is the new length, since it increased by 10%, so now our percentage is 110 over 100 times 2x. You may press your calculator for the numbers, removing the x, but remember to put back in the x later on. So we get 2.2x. Okay? Likewise, I need to find out what is the new width. Since it is a drop, a decrease of 20%, now the percentage is 80%, of the original x. And we will get 0.8x. Some of you still have a very bad habit of not being able to differentiate between your x and times. You write it the same way. Please learn to write your x differently. Another thing that I observed, is that some of you actually let x be 100 or let x be 1, let x be 1000. You cannot do that. If the question did not give you a number for it, you cannot insist upon them a number. Alright? So you must do it in a generic sense, use the x and 2x that has been given to you. To be very honest, if you can work with 100, x is just another thing that looks like 100, that's all. So you have to be comfortable with things that are no longer only numbers. Then after we find new length and new width already, I can find out what is the area. So let's find the initial area. So length times breadth, that will be 2x times x. Now what is 2x times x? What is 2x times x? 3x or 2x squared? 2x squared, Some of you give me 3x, Right? This is multiplication, not an addition, so it gives us 2x squared. So make sure you got the square over there. Then the new area, we use the new length and the new breadth, so 2.2x times 0.8x. We can just press into a calculator for 2.2 times 0.8. We will get 1.76. And then x squared. Not sure you need to do corrections for this question. Not need to do corrections. So percentage change. In this case, for your percentage change, right, you'll take the new area and the initial area. Take a look at what we have. We will always get the difference of it. So 2x squared minus away, 1.76x squared. divided by the original, okay, which is 2x squared times 100%. Okay? Then how do we simplify this? 2 minus 1.6, we can press our calculator for it. We will get 0.24x squared over 2x squared. Okay? And then we can divide at the top and at the bottom x squared, such that we get 0.24 over 2. And then we times 100 and we will get 12%. Okay? Now how do we know whether is it a percentage decrease or increase? Okay? We look at what is the new and what is the initial. Initial is 2x squared, the new one is 1.76. So there is a drop in terms of its area. Okay, so that's why we know that it is a decrease and 12%. Okay, in your final answer there. Alright? So for this question, the marks was given such that if you can find either the new length or the new width, okay, 1 metal mark. You can find the new area, you get 1 metal mark as well. Final answer for both of this, 1 mark. Okay? So it's not say you get decrease and after that you get a mark. Yeah. Yes, we. Okay. Now question 6. Okay, question 6 is an algebra question. Right? So question 6 is not going to be part of your WA3, but it is still things that you need to know. Okay? For part A, it says that the question wants you to find the cost, okay, of the total children's tickets, okay, or the total cost of the children's tickets. Okay, so in this case, that will just be 3 times of x plus 3 because there are 3 children. You may simplify it or expand it, and you'll get 3x plus 9. Okay. Then for part B, question specifically say form an equation, so you must form an equation. Okay, so how do we form the equation? So the children's tickets already know the price. We now need to know the adult tickets price, which is 2 times of 3x minus 4. Then we plus the children's tickets price. Okay, and all this must add up to be 109. And this is what we call an equation. So what you know about the prices, okay, has an equal value of 109. We form an equation like that. Okay, I notice that some of you like to do things part by part. You like to do this part first, okay, then after that you put equals 109. Let's learn, okay, to do it right from the start. Okay, then we look from one line to another. The equal sign should be in the center, it shouldn't be on the left side. Okay, then we expand 6x minus 8 plus 3x plus 9 equals 109. And then we will get 9x plus 1. Okay, and we find that x is equals to 12. Okay, and then in part C, okay, we want to find the price of one adult ticket. So the price of one adult ticket is actually 3x minus 4 itself, with x being 12. So 36 minus 4 we get 32. So that's the answer for part C. Okay? Question 7. Oh, okay. This way will be okay. Yes. Okay. And pull up the position as well. Alright, question 7. Okay, we want to find the number pattern. Part A, I think all of you can get it right unless it's endless. Hopefully you recognize that there's an addition of 3 across the terms. So listen carefully. Okay. First term is actually your negative 7. Second term is your negative 4. Third term is negative 1. You can just write a first few can already. If you want to write all, that's perfectly fine. Okay, but I shall just stop at 4, term number 4. Okay? Let's show I'm over here. Okay, you can take responsibility for Eaton's results. Okay, you take it. Right, but I don't think you can bear the responsibilities. Right? Okay, because it's not going to give you for life. Right or not? Okay? So, these first 4 terms, right, we need to recognize, okay, the pattern going on. We know that the second term is taking the first one plus 3. Okay? Then the third one is to take the second one plus another 3. So in the end, we are having 2 of the 3's. Then after that, the fourth one, we plus another 3. So I will get 3 times of 3. By the way, it is just 3 times of 3. I should not be adding first, okay, then multiply. We always deal with the brackets first, then we add or subtract, right, based on our rules, okay, for bonus. Do brackets first, multiplication, division later, and then finally addition and subtraction. Okay, so with this pattern that we observe, when it comes to term number n, okay, how does it look like over here? We see that this 3 is actually 3 times 1. Okay, when the number here is 2, the number here is 1. When the number here is 3, number here is 2. Number here is 4, number here is 3. So it is always a difference of 1. So 2 minus 1, I'll get 1. 3 minus 1, I'll get 2. 4 minus 1, I'll get 3. So naturally, when it is n, I will minus 1 and I'll have a n minus 1 over here. The other structures will remain, so it will be negative 7 plus 3 times n minus 1. But I must simplify my answer. So with negative 7 plus 3 times n minus 1, I will expand it, okay? When I take this 3 multiply with n and this 3 multiply with minus 1. Because we do the brackets first, I don't do this part first. So minus 7 plus 3n minus 3. Minus 7 minus 3, I will get negative 10. Either the answer is written this way or 3n minus 10. They both mean the same thing. Okay? For part C, question asks whether 108 is part of the sequence. Okay, I want us to do it in a more efficient manner. Some of you do try and error, you do guess and check. I don't want you to do that. Why? Because if the numbers are very big, okay, 1256, okay, you will guess and check you forever. This question is just 2 marks, please don't take forever on it. Okay, there are efficient methods to do it, okay, that is by using this formula that we know. Because every single number here, negative 7, negative 4, negative 1, 2 and so on, they all satisfy this. If I know what term number it is, okay, for example, if it is term number 3, okay, my n will become a 3 minus 10, okay, that is 3 times 3 is 9 minus 10 is negative 1. And that is true for this because term number 3 is negative 1. So that is how this formula here works. Okay, so now that we know or we are given that we are trying to check whether 108 is part of it or not. So let's assume that it is part of it, so it must be equal. Okay, then we try to solve it, find the value of n, and we get 118 here. And then we get 118 divided by 3 and we will have 39 and 1/3. Okay, we can only count our term numbers in positive integers or whole numbers. Okay, first term, second term, third term and so on. I cannot have negative terms. I also cannot have 3 and 1/3 term. Alright, so therefore my term number, which is n, must always be a whole number or a positive integer. So to explain, this is a set of working that you write in the blank space. In the lines, you say that since n, okay, which is supposed to represent the term number, is not a whole number, not part of the sequence. Right? Okay, so that will be how you explain it. You don't have to tell me I take 108, put inside the formula, then I plus 10, then I divide by 3, then I see the number is not whole number, therefore don't need to go and do that because we already did it over here. Okay, you just tell me since n is not whole number, not true, that's all. Yes, okay.
Is there writing whole number favorite integer?
Positive integer. So either you write whole number or you write positive integer. To be even more precise, it should be positive integer lah, because it cannot be zero. Okay? So either write whole number or positive integer. Alright? Questions? Okay? I will give question 8 a skip because I want to prioritize what's coming out for your WA3. Okay? Question 8 is not coming out for your WA3. Right? Now, question 9 itself, your graph question. I have marked your graph already. Okay? And it's not all well done, so the one that's just written to you, okay, please take a look later on when you go back home. For question 9, if you did not get full marks, that means you did not get, you see a number 2 at the bottom, okay, not in the circle but a number 2 at the bottom, please take a piece of new graph paper, okay, especially if your grid is already filled up with something. Okay, I want you to redraw. Okay, you take a piece of this. Okay, do your corrections on it. Okay, can you help yourself to read? Okay, use the graph paper while I set up the visualization. So there is 1 mark already. Right? So I was quite disappointed. There's some people left with blank. Okay? Please, are you doing on the new graph paper? I want you to on this. What's the big size? Okay, now part B. Listen first. Okay, don't draw yet. The question says, using a scale of 2 cm to represent 10 units, draw a horizontal x-axis. What is a horizontal x-axis? Come on, please look at the screen. It is this line, okay, going from left to right, and then you label, okay, this direction. Then you draw your thing, okay? And then the y-axis, okay, is a vertical one that is like this. Okay, and then you must label line on top, right? So it says that 2 cm represent 10 units, and we're supposed to draw from 0 to 60. So with the grid itself, you need to make sure you have sufficient space. Okay, so you observe that there are thicker lines. Okay, so if I start by 0 on this line, usually we start inside, we don't start outside at the border. Okay, starting inside of the thick line, if this is 0, because the question says 2 cm to represent 2 units, that means 2 cm is 1 big square. In fact, you can measure it. Okay, so 0 to next 2 cm will be 10 units. So if L1 0, the next one is 10, and then we count 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Okay, and we see that, okay, my 0 to 60 can fit inside here. Since my 0 is supposed to start here, I will draw my y-axis down, okay, to indicate that 0 is starting here. Okay, so I have my y-axis here already. Now, don't copy yet, okay? Next is the next instruction. 2 cm to represent 50 units, okay, for the vertical y-axis, and it is from negative 150 to 150. Up to you on which number you want to start. I like to start a positive number, then count backwards. Okay, this is 150. Okay, if this is at the highest point of 150, 2 cm to represent 50 units. So the next big square, I will minus 50 units because I'm going downwards. Okay, so 150, next one is 100, then 50, then 0, then negative 50, negative 100, and finally negative 150. So the numbers can fit it in. And therefore, just now going back, 150 is here, 150 is here, 0 will be here, and therefore I put in my x-axis. Okay? But I cannot leave my axis blank, you must have numbers on it. Okay, if there are no numbers on it, then how are you going to plot, right? So we follow the scale that has been given. So 0, 0 must be over here. Okay, so 0 for your x-axis, it is every 2 cm to 10 units, down here it will be 10 units, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Okay, we always go rightwards to be positive. I don't understand why some people can go leftwards positive. Okay, you live in a rather strange world. Alright, so y-axis also 2 cm to 50 units. So down here will be 50, going upwards will be positive, and then going downwards will be negative. Right, so this will be the axis that we will have. Okay, so this itself, okay, will garner you 1 mark, okay, for your axis. You must know how to draw your axis. Okay, some people may ask, can I indicate the mark of number over here? Not necessary. Okay, and when I label numbers, I usually put my numbers below rather than on top. Okay, and you will also see usually your graph, the numbers are on the bottom. Then put the numbers on the side. You can write it on the left or you can write it on the right. It's up to you. Okay, not an issue. Right, so can you please draw your axis now? Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to draw it on your own. You're not going to copy mine. graph. The points are the ones inside the table here. So we need to know how to read it. X is 10, y is negative 60. So transfer it into your graph over here. X being 10 is found here. Y is 60, you need to count. Okay. Down here there are 10 small squares and it is 50 units. So one small square is how many units? 5. Okay, because 50 divided by 10 is 5. So every small square is 5 units. Since you're looking for 60, that means 2 squares above 50. Okay, and then aligning 60 is here, 10 is here, and therefore your first marking, negative 60, sorry, almost marking. Negative 50 is here, negative 60 is at the bottom. So first point is actually over here. So we mark with a cross. Okay, in some of your work, you mark it with a dot. I do not encourage dots because it gets hidden when you draw a line. Your cross also don't need to be too big. Okay, neither should it be too small. It should be visible. Okay, I don't recall whether it's in Matthias or Zayden. Your work would like to do dots. Okay, I think you're going to see your chapter 6 graph. Okay, don't do the dot. Don't do that. Do cross please. Okay, then we go to the next point, 30 and 20. So 20 will actually be 4 squares above. Okay, and then 50 and 100, followed by 60 and 140. Okay, so we mark it all out, then we draw our line. Our line, please don't just put your ruler there and then after that anyhow draw. Make sure it touches all the points. So I always go back to the point and use my ruler to guide myself, making sure that it aligns. Okay, connect through all the points, then you draw the line across. Okay, if it's possible, you may draw the line longer also. Okay, pass through the y-axis. Alright, I'm making sure that it is neat. If you put your ruler and you realize that your line needs to shift, your ruler needs to shift in order to connect all the dots or all the crosses, that means that your points is not correct somewhere. Okay, you are always drawing a straight line, so one ruler down and then draw hand already, one short draw. It shouldn't be having to move. Okay, make sure we label as well. Label y equals to 4x minus 100. Okay, because that is the equation of the graph. Right? Are we all done with this drawing? Okay, now I want us to look at part C. Okay, back to your own paper. Part C says that explain what the y-intercept represents. Some of you did attempt part C, but you tell me that y-intercept represents the line, when the line comes through the y-axis. That is the definition. Okay? The question wants you to say what the y-intercept represents. You must relate it to the context of the question. In the context of the question, it says that $Y is the profit and X is the number of t-shirts sold. Y-intercept actually refers to the point where the graph, the diagonal line, passes through your y-axis, and this is negative 100. So your value is y equals to negative 100. But what does that mean? It means that the profit, which is y, is negative 100. When we say that the profit is negative, what does that mean? It is a loss, right? You lose money, right? Okay, so the correct term to use is that it is a loss. So we say that it represents the loss of $100, okay, that the students would make. Okay, under what circumstances? Because at the y-intercept, okay, your x is actually equals to 0. So x represents the number of t-shirts sold. So the loss of $100 that the students would make when no t-shirts are sold. Is there another way of writing this or phrasing this? Any ideas? What would other than a loss. Why would they make a loss for negative 100 or make a loss of 100? Very good, because that is the cost price. So you can also say that it represents the cost price of the t-shirts. Okay? So that is also another way of phrasing it. Either one of this sentence will be good. Let me just finish up part D. Okay? Using your graph, determine the number of t-shirts which need to be sold in order to make a profit 120. So question say using your graph must be correct first. You must have a graph first, then I can give you the mark. Okay, the answer is 55. Why is that so? It is because when the profit is 120, that means y is 120. It is this value over here. Okay, you can use your ruler to guide yourself to see. I will use a dotted line to indicate it for you. Okay, and then you read down to the x-axis to find that the value is 55. So therefore, in part D, answer is 55.